Unready with me while I talk about what a typical schedule is like on my days that I'm working as a PMHNP private practice owner. If you're new here, my name is Alicia and I'm a Psych NP and I own my own private practice, and I teach other Psych NPs how to find freedom and balance in their lives by starting their own private practices as well. So before we start, if you guys haven't watched my recent videos where I do my 5-minute makeup and talk about, I did all of this makeup earlier this morning. I think it lasted pretty well. So that's from those earlier videos where I have the same background here. But I also wanted to share with you guys this adorable thing that I have on. And one of my Psych NP students got it for me from Etsy. I think it's so cute. So thank you, Bree. All right, so I'm gonna start here. So today, starting with the Oat Cleansing Balm. Actually, my NP school bestie gave me this. She told me that I have to be double cleansing, which I thought meant washing your face twice. Apparently it's not. It's using a cleansing balm and then also washing your face. So that's cool. This has helped my skincare a lot. Let's start by talking about what my typical schedule is. And I think it might be helpful too if I give you guys a little bit of reference of what my private practice is. Those of you that have been following along, I think that you guys know that I own a cash-based private practice and that I typically see a mix of psychotherapy and med management. I really believe in integrating self-care into your usual living, so I do not see too many patients in a day. I set my cash rates so that I can spend a lot of time with my patients and also recoup and recover after, and so that I can make a sustainable income by not packing in a ton of people in a day. I'm gonna wash this off, rinse it a little bit, and then start my next process. Now for my second cleanse, I'm using the facial cleanser by First Aid Beauty. I typically will see my psychotherapy patients for 60-minute visits, my follow-up patients for 30-minute visits, and I see my new intakes. I block 2 hours. So I know that that's a long time, but I really want to get to know them and not have time be a factor. And I think that it really helps with my pediatrics so that I can fully interview the child, fully interview the parent, fully do the med consent process if we're starting meds, and then have people feel listened to. Sometimes they've been waiting for an appointment for a really long time and they really need to vent. So that's how I set my length of time. I find that the way that I work best and what my typical schedule in a week, let's talk about my week and then we'll talk about my individual days. For the week, I usually like to work about 2.5 days. I think that that amount of patient care is good for me. I have not done well in past jobs. I get really tired and burnt out when I'm doing like 40 hours of patient care in a week. I think that that's a lot. Even 5 days of patient care in a week. I don't know what it really does. Maybe you guys have some theories on this, but I've had so many Psych NPs feel the same way. I don't know what it does. I don't know if that we come from nursing and so we're kind of used to working like our 3 days and loving that 12-hour schedule and then being able to kind of live, our lives the other days. I feel like being in that like clinical mode all the time, like 5 days a week is just a lot for me. I don't know. I haven't been able to figure it out, but I've been working with that. As you guys know, I also teach and mentor full mentorship program on how to start a private practice as a Psych NP. And we have now, I'm recording this in spring of 24, we have over 80 members now, which is incredibly exciting. And so I break up my work. So I have my mentorship, I also teach an NP program, and then I also have my private practice. But let me tell you, I can sustain myself on my private practice alone if I really needed to, because I did that before I even started my mentorship or any of that. I always had my teaching, but that was like, I could add it or subtract it. Like I would teach a semester and then take a semester off or whatever. that was a really roundabout way to say I really find that I do well when I work no more than 3 clinical days in a week. And so what that usually looks like, actually what I like even better, is 2.5 days. So I pack Mondays and Tuesdays, and then I'll have a few that sprinkle on Thursdays or a few on Wednesdays. That's typically what I'll do. And in those clinical days, I do not see 20 in a day. I do not see patients for 15-minute visits or 10-minute visits or 7-minute visits or whatever the heck I'm hearing out there. I've had lots of NP students that say they're seeing patients for 7 minutes in other clinical sites, and I'm just not built for that. Glow Recipe spray. So I'm just wetting my face a little bit. And then Glow Recipe toner. So I find that then with those days, usually my sweet spot is doing about, I'm gonna say 4 hours of face-to-face clinical, like face-to-face patient time each of those days. So like 4 hours on Monday, Tuesday, and then for like the half day, I'll do like 2 hours on Thursday. That's my sweet spot. And that's face-to-face time. That's not including like, I'll usually do like 2 hours of admin work most days. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I'll do like 2 hours of admin work. And then my other days where I don't see patients at all, I might do like 1 hour of admin work. Okay. And I'll see 4 hours of patient care. So what that usually translates as, like, let me tell you exactly what I did today. Actually, first I learned of this bean essence. It's supposed to be the equivalent to like a snail mucin, which everyone is saying is super hydrating, but I don't use animal products. So here we go. I'm trying this. We're still trying to figure out if it's how it is, and it has kind of this like gooey thing that the snail mucin that everyone says is really hydrating has. So 4 hours of clinical time per day, which translates as, so today, me and my Psych NP student, we saw 2 intakes, and that was my 4 hours basically, because each intake was 2 hours. So I saw 2 intakes today, and that was it. And I made a good, sustainable amount of money from that because I set my rates appropriately. Then tomorrow, what me and my NP student, and I am so thankful to my NP students because they really help me. I know I help them and I teach them how to write notes, but then they're so smart and they learn so fast, and then they help me write notes, which is so nice. If you want to practice, I really, really highly encourage you to consider teaching because yes, you're giving back, but yes, it helps you too, which is great. Win-win. And there's so many NP students out there that need a preceptor. I do my best, but I try not to overload myself either in the spirit of self-care. Drunk Elephant F-Balm. I'm not super convinced on this moisturizer for how expensive it is. I got it for free from a cancer gala event that I went to. I don't think it's any better than other moisturizers I've tried, so I'm not going to be purchasing this myself. And the pump stopped working, so I'm like, I'm gonna squish it out. If you guys recommend another moisturizer, I would love to know, because this one is whatever to me. Tomorrow, an example of what my schedule is going to be is I don't have any intakes. We're doing all follow-ups, and most of my patients are teenagers or working people that want to be seen after 3. Some patients I can convince them to see me during the day, like some stay-at-home moms or some people that work from home. Usually what it looks like is I'll see a couple of patients in the morning, have a long break in the middle of the day, and then a big stretch of patients in the afternoon. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to see 2 patients in the morning, 10 and 11, I think, 30-minute visits. So I love doing like 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off till kind of like take a break, pee, write the note, whatever. So 2 visits, 2 30-minute follow-ups in the morning. And then we take a break from, I'm going to say like 11:30 until I think 3. And then I have 4 patients from, no, I'm going to say 2. And then I have 4 patients between the time of 4 or 5 patients between like 2 and 5. So it's kind of like 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off, or like 30 minutes, a few of them back to back, and then like a 30-minute break, something like that. So between like 2 and 5, I have like maybe 5 patients. The total tomorrow is 7, which if you break that down, that's like, if they're all 30-minute visits, I did have a patient cancel. So I was gonna have a total of 4 hours of clinical visits. I was gonna have 8 follow-ups, I believe. But I'm actually glad that a patient canceled, because I am gonna still be doing even more work tomorrow, because on Tuesdays, every other Tuesday, I run a case consultation group, which, Glow Recipe Retinol Eye Cream. I heard that if you put this, also where you have like fine lines or wrinkles, that it helps with that, and I have found that to be true. So I'm putting it in more places than just my eyes. So I have this like frowning line from listening to patients very intensely. So I'm glad that I had a patient cancel tomorrow, because I was pretty full. I actually run an hour-long case consultation group every Tuesday evening at 5 o'clock Pacific time. If you guys are interested in that, I'll link it down below. I run a case consultation group, and it's a really wonderful, beautiful group of people, and we all talk about difficult cases. A lot of people come to my case consultation group specifically because I have experience in child adolescent psych and integrative psychiatry and the use of supplements along with medication, things like that. Oh, and a lot of experience in ADHD treatment, anxiety, depression, bipolar. So I do run that case consultation group if you're interested in joining. Like I said, I'll put the link below in the description. I run that group for an hour every other Tuesday night, so it's gonna be pretty nonstop. And sometimes I also have a psychotherapy visit with a patient that's 60 minutes. So, it's always kind of the mix between the psychotherapy patients who are 60 minutes and the follow-up visits that are 30 minutes. I try not to do, like I said, more than 4 hours of clinical face-to-face time. That's just my energy level. And then there's charting on top of that and such. Glow Recipe niacinamide drops. The other thing too is, I didn't mention, I don't have it today, so I'm kind of chilling right now, but every other Monday I have an hour and a half that I spend with my private practice mentorship group. And that is a group of beautiful, wonderful psych NPs that I am helping start their private practices. So I have, for that mentorship group, I have pre-recorded videos. I have a full forum where they can ask questions, and then a platform where they can message me anytime or message any of the other members all across the US anytime. And then we have group calls twice a month. Right now they're on Monday nights, 5 o'clock Pacific time, for an hour and a half, and it's just open forum where it's just a Q&A. I'm gonna say no. It's a big thing, it's awesome. Where we meet, open forum, open platform, everybody asks the questions that they need. There are people in there that have opened their private practice 2 years ago that have questions still for me, which is great, and they also help the newer members. And then there's people that just joined my program yesterday, and they haven't even this is like day one, private practice day one. So that's what I do, hour and a half every other Monday night. I don't include that in like my 4 hours of patient face-to-face time. So as you can see, this is all adding up, right? I have my patients 4 hours, and then I have my private practice or my case consult group was like another hour, hour and a half. And then I'm doing some admin work. So my Mondays and Tuesdays are packed. And then Wednesdays I build out all of my content for you guys, free content like here on YouTube, and then content for my groups. And then where I expand steps that I'm talking about here on YouTube. And then meetings with my team, and then more admin time during the other days of the week. All right. And finally, I'm gonna do the Glow Recipe plumper here. Well, I don't know. It's not a plumper. It's not like tingly or anything. It's just a lip mask. That's what it is. A lip mask. So this is my final nighttime routine. I hope that this was helpful to give you an idea of what you can build. It's really incredible. If you would have told me when I look at my income from my private practice, working 2.5 days, and I think about the fact that it's the same income that I made going to the hospital, working 5 days a week, I would have said, no freaking way is that going to be my future or my job. I am thrilled. I make the same amount in 2.5 days that I did in 5 days. Most of the time I'm staying at home. Every once in a while I'm going into the office when I want to or when I need to see a patient. Most of the time I'm working tele. My commute is very short. I used to commute like an hour to an hour and a half on the train, one way in Los Angeles to the hospital, work an 8-hour shift, come home, be exhausted, not be able to have energy or time for my family. During the week, it was only weekends, and even then I was usually sleeping and exhausted. So if you would have told me I'd make the same amount of money in 2.5 days a week that I used to make in 5 days, I would say, no freaking way. I can't believe that this is my life, and I'm so thankful. And that's why I'm like always spreading the message to psych NPs, because you don't have to be trapped in, I know there's a lot of toxic work environments out there. I know that like by nature, we are viewed as like the cheaper option. And so we a lot of times are not respected and not paid well, but we know we are great and we can seriously have a better situation. And so that's why I'm always talking about this here on YouTube. So anyway, thanks for joining, guys. Please like, subscribe, comment. It really helps me and my channel to grow so that I can keep providing more content to you guys for free. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks again. Good night.